Lehigh Valley Health Network presents Sports Talk, your weekly source for Hazleton Area High School football here on WYLN. I'm your host, Marty Burns. As always, I'll be joined this week by Hazleton Area head football coach Mike Brennan. We'll go over the game last Friday against Williamsport, a look ahead to the return home for the first ever meeting with the Wolfpack of Wilkes-Barre area, and a very special guest from the Cougar football team. That's all this week on Sports Talk. We'll be back right after this.
Sports Talk is presented in cooperation with Lehigh Valley Health Network, Hazleton.
Life is full of partners. Your health deserves a partner too.
Experience the beauty of the Valley Country Club and let them sponsor you for your next event. Toss the flowers and dance the night away with their course as your backdrop. Let Valley Country Club host your next special occasion, whether it's a bridal or baby shower, anniversary, celebration of life, pool party, charity fundraiser, business meeting, golf outing, corporate, private, or social event.
Stop in at Two Italian Guys Pizzeria for the best pizza in town, serving a large variety of pizza, stromboli, and so much more. Open till 3 a.m. Take out or eat in, delivery available. Call 570-459-2783.
Sacco Chiropractic, East Broad Street in Hazleton, has the health care you've been waiting for. Whether it's a chronic issue or something new, Sacco Chiropractic has the most up-to-date techniques and therapies to help with any ailment. From his days of playing football with the Cougars and then in college, Dr. Scott Sacco has an elite understanding of sports injuries and how to correct them. Whether you are an athlete, a weekend warrior, or a grandmother, we can help with multiple issues. Call today to see why relief is super, man. 570-497-4150.
Ralph M. Cameron, specializing in quality and affordable construction services for residential, commercial, and industrial, licensed and insured. Call 570-401-0654 today for all your construction needs.
Thanks, Mom. Love you. Don't be late for the bus. As a mom, I always have to make good choices. And one of those choices is where to go on vacation. I always thought the Pocono Mountains were just cabins and bears. But the Poconos are all family fun. Amazing waterfalls, trails, and train rides. World-class water parks. Even spas, premium shopping, and a casino. So make the right choice, the Pocono Mountains, for your next vacation.
BLB Auto Sales, a division of Barbush Automotive. BLB has deals that can't be beat. They carry trucks, vans, SUVs, sedans, and sports cars, and all at the lowest prices. Barbush Automotive can handle all vehicle repairs since they do it all. Check out their specials: oil change and filter, just $19.95. Alignment, $49.95. Professional and good people. Call 570-454-7571.
Welcome back to Sports Talk, your weekly source for Hazleton Area High School football, brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network. I'm your host, Marty Burns, joined as always by the head football coach at Hazleton Area High School, Mike Brennan. And Coach, we had talked about the hopes for last Friday night, a big game with Williamsport, another one of the 6A teams that you have on your schedule. Come away with a 13-7 loss, and I guess we start with the negative, missed opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we felt like we were in the red zone a few times in the first half, came away with no points. We were able to have a 7-0 lead at halftime, but we have to capitalize on some of the opportunities they gave us. But our kids fought the whole way. It was a very competitive football game. It always is with Williamsport. And if you look into the situation we were in last year, we were in a very similar situation. We lost to them. We had an identical record. We ended up having an opportunity to play for a sub-region championship in week 12. And that's what our goal is, to move forward, to continue to see how good this young team can become. So we've already put Williamsport in the rearview mirror. We're moving on to Wilkes-Barre.
And the positives to look ahead for week 5, another big game on the ground for Kevin Molesky, and then Kellen Warner maybe not the yardage that stands out, but I think the more impressive thing is he spread the ball around.
Yeah, Kevin's been really physical for us. We're still trying to get Lance Johnson back to full strength. We're hoping, and that's this week. But Kevin's really a physical runner. He's a downhill kid. He can catch passes. He can do a lot for us. Again, Dante Mattarella, I don't think we could speak enough about what he's done, stepping into a fullback role. He's done a real nice job for us as well.
And defensively, you kept saying to us week after week, you felt that the defense was coming along. The defense was coming along. They got to show it on the scoreboard, only giving up 13 points to a tough, athletic Williamsport team on the road. I think if we were sitting here last week and we were previewing Williamsport, and I said to you at the end of the show, hey, you're only going to give up 13 points to Williamsport this week, I think you would have liked your chances.
Absolutely. It was a gigantic step in the right direction on the defensive side of the football. I felt like we were playing better defensive football, but it just didn't show on the scoreboard. And I really thought Friday night we ran to the ball. We had lots of white jersey on the ball carriers. They have some young, talented kids, and I was really proud of our kids, the way they competed and the step we took in the right direction defensively last week.
Okay, and let's get a look at some of the highlights from Friday night at Williamsport, and we start with the passing game. Kellen Warner to Matt Fisher.
Yeah, nice play action stuff right there where those guys sell it up front. It was a nice dig crossing route by Matt Fisher. Nice job by Kellen stepping up in the pocket. I think as he moves forward, he'll be more comfortable stepping up and delivering those balls.
And we're going to have another pass play from Warner to Fisher, and we'll get 2 looks at it.
Yeah, Kellen's nice stepping up in the pocket. He sometimes wants to get to the edge. His first bit of success this year was getting to the edge and flushing himself. And this is a great picture here from the end zone camera of the pocket being open, him stepping up in the pocket and delivering a strike to Matt Fisher. Great protection by our up front guys.
And we talked about the running game, and here is Kevin Molesky.
Yeah, we got Kevin going a little bit. He runs physical, he runs hard. It's a plus 10-yard run there, and when he gets north, he's a very physical runner.
And here, Kevin, with your touchdown on the night.
Yeah, it was nice to get that points. Took an early 7-0 lead in the first quarter, and I said we had other opportunities we didn't take advantage of. We hope to this week.
Here's some team defense.
Lots of that this week. Lots of guys around the ball, Marty. Very physical in my defensive front. I'm really proud of those kids, the way they came along.
Our guest from last week, Seth Unsinger, with a sack.
Seth had a big game. Had a sack and some tackles for losses and was all over he's an athletic kid, tough kid, and he's getting better and better.
You just mentioned tackle for loss. Here's one of them.
Yeah, like I said, it was impressive to see Seth move around. He's starting to get some confidence. He's a rep guy a little bit, so the more he plays, the better he'll get.
And here, a pass play to Kevin Molesky.
Yeah, nice job. Good fake in the zone to Lance Johnson, and Kellen was able to deliver a strike for a nice chunk gain to Kevin Molesky.
Here's some team defense. We'll get 2 looks at it.
Yeah, it's nice that we had a lot of white jerseys around the ball. Their quarterback was a very athletic kid, even more so than we thought. He's going to North Carolina for baseball, and he's an outfielder, could really run. So we're able to bottle up Freeman for a good part of the night. They only had 56 yards in the entire first half.
And another young man that's been stepping up week after week for you, James Bugda, here with a tackle for loss.
He's physical. He's outstanding in terms of leadership. He's great in the weight room, and he's been really a workhorse for us on both sides of the ball at center and defensive line.
And here, Max Barrett with a tackle.
Yeah, Max watches a lot of film. Very bright kid and did a nice job patiently waiting, and he's getting to be a better player every week.
After a touchdown, James Bugda with a point after block.
Yeah, James has been quietly doing a lot of positive things for us. As a leader and as a grinder on offense and pass protector and defensively, he's been really tough.
And our last play, another show of team defense.
Yeah, lots of white shirts in the ball. Bryce Reed returned this week. It was really encouraging to see him run around at full strength. And our front guys are getting better and better. Richie Santos is one of those unsung heroes as a senior, and Dante Mattarella is getting more reps inside. Ryan Matthews, Matt Fisher in a box at linebackers with Kevin Molesky. So we're really pleased with the development of our front 7, front 8.
And we'll talk more about Wilkes-Barre area as we get to the end of the show, but very similar. With the combination of Coughlin, Myers, and GAR, they're coming with some athletes too that's going to show up here in Hazleton on Friday night. How maybe is it an advantage to have Williamsport, Wilkes-Barre area back-to-back, because they're sort of similar as far as the athleticism?
They're very similar. Wilkes-Barre throw a lot of formations at you, a lot of movement, but they do have athletic guys. And one of my concerns about Wilkes-Barre is a lot of we haven't had guys who play a lot of football. Well, they had guys who played at 3 separate schools. So a lot of guys in the field for them on offense and defense have played a lot of football for their respective programs before they came together as the Wolfpack. So they have a lot of very familiar names that were successful at Myers, Coughlin, and GAR last year.
And just to touch on that point a little bit further, how difficult is it to scout them with them being a new program? You know, you're familiar with Coach Cinti, you're familiar with the Coughlin kids, but you haven't had a chance to see a lot of these kids that are coming from GAR and Myers.
No, we haven't. You know, so we know Cyril very well. He's a good man, one of the good guys in coaching. We're very close with him. We spend some time with him. We get together at clinics. Eddie Michaels, a lot of respect for him. He runs their defense, and then you bring the Jacksons in. You know, Teddy's a good friend. I feel talked to him quite a bit, and I really respect what he does. He lines up and plays base defense, and I think him and Eddie are collaborating a little bit there. And Teddy Jr. does a great job offensively with moving those guys around and doing some different things. So we're familiar with the coaches, just not in this particular setting at Wilkes-Barre area.
We'll get to Wilkes-Barre area more specifically at the end of tonight's show. But up next, we're going to take a break and bring on our special guest. We talked about him a little bit during the highlights. James Bugda joins us next here on Sports Talk.
Life is full of partners. Your health deserves a partner too.
Tri-County has been keeping your office up to speed since 1969. Everything your office needs: office supplies, personal and custom business forms, business cards, office furniture, new and used office equipment, copy, print, and scan solutions with wide format capabilities. Leasing is also available, free off-street parking, and free local delivery. Tri-County Business Machines, 117 East Broad Street in Hazleton, 570-459-0754. Family owned and operated since 1969.
Your exciting new TV experience is here. Smarter, faster, easier to use. With live TV, recordings, video on demand, and streaming apps, all in a single place. When you're looking for something new, recommendations are tailored to you. Voice-powered, personalized results to find what you want faster. And the unlimited potential of smart home. The new experience from TiVo is here.
SJ Kowalski is your Mitsubishi Diamond contractor. They can install a Mitsubishi electric Mr. Slim ductless heating and cooling system. Mr. Slim systems are designed to make any living space in your home inviting. You can have a different temperature control for every room in your home. The money-saving technology can save you 25 to 50% on your heating bill. For Mitsubishi, Rinnai, and trained comfort specialists, call SJ Kowalski at 570-455-2600.
This is your home, your car, and you want to give them the protection they deserve. With home and auto insurance.
In Hazleton, talk to State Farm agent Pete Keselika.
You've seen university advertising. A student like me pitching you the same old ideas. But I'm not gonna do that.
Instead, I'm gonna tell you what you can do with a Penn State degree. You can help anyone. Go anywhere. Create! And with 20 campuses to choose from, you'll always feel at home.
Look, Penn State is amazing, but your best years are just beginning. Come find out for yourself.
Barber Ford has the largest selection of Ford commercial vehicles in Northeast PA with over 50 Super Duties in stock. Plus, Barber Ford is the only Ford commercial vehicle center in the area participating with the state's cooperative purchasing program, CoStars. Barber Ford, where the pros go for trucks.
Have an electrical problem? Call the Wire Guys. Need lights installed? Call the Wire Guys. Anything and everything electrical, big or small. Our rigorously trained licensed electricians are fully screened, always on time, work neat, clean, and thorough. The Wire Guys. We're here 24/7, 365. All of our work is guaranteed, 100%. When you need electrical work, you need Wire Guys.
We welcome you back to Sports Talk, brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network. I'm your host, Marty Burns, joined as always in the middle by head football coach Mike Brennan, and to my far right from the Hazleton area football team, James Bugda. And James, thanks for joining us this week.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Coach, before we start grilling James, what can you tell us about James and what he brings to this program?
He's tough as nails. You know, he's a guy, he's an everyday lunch pail guy. He's physical. He works extremely hard. He keeps his mouth shut. He competes. And he's really been the cornerstone of our offensive line, playing center for us and playing every snap. And defensive line, we got a little bit of rotation going now to get these guys a little bit of a break, not too much, but he's been dominant in the defensive line as well. Only a junior, with a lot of our guys back next year for a senior year, but we're really excited to see how the second half of our regular season goes with him being the lead of our offensive line and defensive line.
Okay, James, let's start with the offense, playing at the center position. Talk about one of the things that nobody notices unless there's a problem, and I'm talking about the quarterback-center exchange. Just talking about how much, you really do have to work on it so that come game time there is no issues.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's hard to understand what he's saying. It's hard to hear the count. Sometimes the ball gets slippery. You have to make sure that you're precise with your snaps. And in the past, I have messed up snaps, but Kellen does a great job, recovering from that and turning it into a positive play.
And the other thing that people may not realize, in the middle of that line, you're usually the one that checks out what the defense is doing, and you give out the line calls as far as different types of protection, or if it's a run play, which way you can execute the running game. Just talk about how before you even get to that point of snapping the ball to Kellen, that you have to survey what the defense is doing as far as what you can see from your center position.
Well, yeah, of course, because you have a walk-up linebacker, you're thinking blitz, and if you don't call something out, well, then you could have a play that got stopped in the backfield, and now you're in 3rd and 4, then it goes to 3rd and 8, and you're in a negative position.
Now, does your experience at center, does that help you when you take over defensively as far as, hey, maybe somewhat what the other centers call maybe is very similar to what you call or what you can see that they're doing as an offensive line, you might be able to pick up quicker with your experience of being a center and calling out your own protections.
Well, yes, absolutely. I know what type of blocking schemes I need to do my job. And when I'm on the defensive side, I understand that if he takes a downward step, then the ball's probably coming up the middle, and I have to fight across him to get into that play. Or I have to distract guard and center to give room for the linebackers to make a bigger play.
And let's talk about your play on the defensive line. We saw in the highlights you had a tackle for loss. We've been seeing you pop up in the highlights week after week. Just talk about, is there something specifically that you're looking for with the offensive lineman that you're lined up with that maybe you'll be able to exploit, that you give them a certain look on a play, and then that, hey, I could come back and do something else and be able to break through for a tackle?
Well, yeah, as you're going through the game, you find out how your opponent plays. Some offensive linemen show their fingertips, which could lead to a pull, a pass block. And the way you portray yourself also has an effect on you. If you're showing that you're going to a certain gap, then they understand that they're probably going to beat you to it. But if you watch the ball, keep straight, and fire forward, you could make all sorts of moves to help you get in the backfield.
And one last question for you. We saw you also come up with a block on the point after attempt on special teams. You're playing special teams and what you look for to maybe be able to penetrate, get through and get that block, because as we've seen through the years, you never know when that point is very critical at the end of the game.
Yeah, many times, such as Wyoming Valley West, it was a 1-point game, and that could have deciphered the game. Unfortunately, it didn't. But in the moment, you do go full out trying to block that, so you do have a chance of winning.
Well, James, thanks a lot for joining us this week. Best of luck Friday night as you return home and take on Wilkes-Barre area.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, we'll be back to conclude Sports Talk right after this. We talk about that first ever meeting with the Wolfpack of Wilkes-Barre area as they'll come to Hazleton this Friday night.
Life is full of partners. Your health deserves a partner too.
Not only is Krugel's Georgetown Deli and Beer your craft beer headquarters, they have great food too. Check out Georgetown's Pub Fare menu. G-Town scallops, cheesy crab pretzel, smoked brisket, smoked wings, and more. Or how about their Flight and Bites with your choice of sauces and 5-ounce draft beers. They have a great selection of craft beers on tap, and you can get it to go in a crowler. Stop in and play Keno or other Pennsylvania Lottery games. Krugel's Georgetown Deli and Beer in Wilkes-Barre Township, right next to the Big Cow. Check them out on the web at georgetowndeli.com.
At Grand Central, our family has been supplying your family with quality brand name furniture, mattresses, and appliances for over 3 generations. Whether you choose from our excellent selection of Lazy Boy, Catnapper, or England furniture, or from our fantastic selection of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we guarantee total comfort in every room of your home.
With expert advice, everyday low prices, plus interest-free financing for up to 60 months.
From our family to your family.
Grand Central in Hazleton. Everything to make your house a home.
The Falvella Law Firm, located at 641 Route 93 in Sugarloaf, offers help with car and truck accidents, wills, powers of attorney, and estates. With a small team of attorneys, they work directly with each and every client, serving all of northeastern Pennsylvania. They are proud to offer legal services that make a real difference to you. Call them at 570-788-4191.
Bonanza Steakhouse, 574 Susquehanna Boulevard in Hazel Township, has an unbeatable buffet filled with something for everyone. Our menu includes the finest flame-grilled steaks, barbecue ribs, chicken, seafood, or sandwiches. You can add the buffet to any entree for a little more. Bonanza features daily specials. Join us Saturday and Sunday for our breakfast buffet that includes our famous omelet and egg station, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Hey guys, Ray Merrill from Blaze Alexander's of Greater Hazleton. You know, individuals win trophies, teams win championships. We have an awesome sales team here, but let me introduce you to the other part.
It's not just getting a great deal before the sale.
It's about taking care of you after the sale. We take care of your service needs.
And we'll get your parts.
So whether you pay cash or finance, good credit or bad,
we've got you covered, even if you fumbled.
So come by and see the award-winning team at Blaze Alexander of Greater Hazleton and find out why we take the deals the other guys won't.
Welcome back to Sports Talk, your weekly source for Hazleton Area High School football, brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network. Our final segment as the Cougars get ready for their first ever meeting with the Wilkes-Barre area Wolfpack. That'll be coming up this Friday night at home. But, Coach, before we specifically talk about the Wolfpack, looking at your schedule, you've got that rough road stretch of 3 out of 4 out of the way now as you look at your final 6, 4 of your last 6 at home starting this Friday night.
It's nice to be back home again at Harmongeist. It really is, against a sub-region opponent. New opponent, but we feel very familiar with them. We respect what Coach Cinty's done throughout his career at Coughlin. They're going to be tough kids. The Coughlin kids are tough kids. The Myers and GAR kids, they're tough kids, and they have that track speed.
Right.
It seems like Myers 4x4s and the 4x1s in the state final every year. So those kids bring that over to the football field, and they offer some major concerns for us in terms of containing them.
And one of the things that, I've never been a big believer in it, but it seems like Coach Cinty has it working well. 2-quarterback system. He's got Taylor, a little bit of a bigger guy. Swinney seems maybe has the stronger arm. They both seem like they run. If they go with Swinney, he may run more option than maybe, say, Taylor. But is it one of these that where they're constantly rotating in and out, and Coach Cinty always, it seemed like the game that we covered, mixed it up. There's no, all right, one play, he mixes it up. Guys may get a couple plays, and then he'll go to the other guy. Do you need to depend on your coaches upstairs to keep a lookout and say, okay, this one's coming in or this one's coming in, or you also have to watch Coach Cinty also goes with both of them in at the same time?
Yeah, I think systematically they're doing the same thing with them, which helps. If they had a drop back pocket kid and then they had an athletic kid who's on the edge all the time and running, his own read and that kind of thing, it'd be more of a concern. But both of those guys are very athletic. They both have the ability to throw the long ball. I'll make no mistake about that. But they're very fast and they run very well. They run a lot of things inside. They're not afraid to bounce it. They'll scramble if things don't go good in the pass game. So, but they are both very systematically similar, which does help us in our preparation.
And then also looking, he uses multiple tailbacks as well. And I think the one thing that's really helped, you're familiar with McCoy from his time at Coughlin, but I think now he's got other people around him, which helps McCoy stand out as the true athlete, maybe the true big threat on this offense.
Absolutely, very athletic, and they're an outstanding athlete. And I'll tell you what, the thing is, you know, again, with the concern I think I touched on before is so many of those guys have played football.
Right.
And the reason they have the ability to do that, play multiple guys at the same position, is because they've all played there in their respective schools. I liken it to back in my midget football days in the Pottsville Midget Football League. When we left 8th grade, there was 4 tailbacks, there was 4 quarterbacks, there was a handful of linemen that have played because there was a 4-team system. And then when you went to high school, there was a lot of guys who played and competed. Very similar situation that Coach Cinti has this year with a lot of guys who played a lot of football, and that's a scary thing for us.
And then the other thing, typical, if you talk about a Coach Cinti team, they're going to want to be physical up front.
Absolutely, you know, they always are. You know, those Coughlin, you know, you're afraid that the best of Coughlin, which is that physicality and toughness, and the best of Myers, which is that speed, and the best of GAR, which is a little combination of both, you know, doesn't come out in that program because the lineup really is littered with players from different programs. At corner, they have the Williams kid from GAR, the other corner, Swinney, and the safety is Cinti from Coughlin. You know, so same thing with their 2 perimeter guys and the up front guys are Coughlin kids. You know, they have a mix of GAR kid and a Coughlin kid inside a linebacker. So there's a really unique mix of kids from all 3 programs.
And I was really impressed with the way their linebackers played. They're big, but they seem to move pretty well as well. When you look at them defensively, is there one aspect of what Wilkes-Barre area brings that concerns you when you have the football?
Well, you know, they want to bring pressure. Eddie Michaels wants to bring pressure at you. They're a 4-4 team. They'll bring interior pressure, third down, lots of pressure in third down. They'll bring outside pressure as well this year. So we know there'll be pressure. We know they'll be physical. They have some substance inside to them. So, you know, they offer us a lot of challenges when we're trying to move the football.
And so often we talk about it, and sometimes it gets lost at the end of the show when we talk about these previews. But you got to be aware of special teams. I believe McCoy has a couple of special team scores on the special team side of it in the return game. So of course, you know, you got to be aware of him and just aware of them as a whole, special teams wise.
Very dangerous. He returned the opening kickoff against Nanticoke for a touchdown. So a very dangerous player, fast as can be. So you really have to try to keep the ball away from them and cover the kicks.
And now, Coach, we got about 45 seconds till we get to the end of the program. What do you see as being a key to victory to get this Cougar team back on the winning track?
You know, continue to improve defensively. Really excited what the kids did, you know, in the run, against the run at Williamsport last week. So that's very, very important. You know, but offensively, we sputtered last week. We did some things. We had some positive plays, but we weren't consistent enough on the offensive end in terms of running the ball, moving the sticks, melting in the play-action game. You know, getting to the edge a little bit to change protection. So I think offensively, we have to take the lead at home this week and get some points on the board.
Well, Coach, best of luck. Here's hoping to get to 2-3 with a return home.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to say so long this week for Sports Talk. For Coach Brennan and James Bugda, I'm Marty Burns saying so long. Join us next week as we go over the Wilkes-Barre area game, the first ever meeting between Hazleton area and Wilkes-Barre area. I'll look ahead to the second straight home game, as they'll play host to Delaware Valley, and another special guest from the Cougar football team. That's all next week on Sports Talk. You can watch it here on WYLN, and as always, brought to you by the Lehigh Valley Health Network.